Welcome back to the channel, and let's talk about Cutco knives today. I got two. Those are not my knives. Those are the knives which I need to sharpen for my customer. And actually I did sharpen this one and a few others. I did try to cook it with this, and I have my personal impression about the knife itself, which I will share today. So first of all, of course, I do not recommend you those knives. If you know the company, they make those knives with a very expensive price tag, and they have their own marketing and sales model, which how they sell those knives. They say those are very good knives. They are not. They're okay. They're just okay knives. They shouldn't cost that much. So first of all, there are a few specific points about these knives which I personally don't like, and the reason why I don't recommend those. Before that, let's do a quick review and comparison of what it actually is, and then again finish with some more comparison what you can get comparable from a build point of view. Of course, for less money. Those are the knives on the table. First of all, how the knife is constructed. It is just a plain metal handle, 3 rivets, and they do what is called, we call it saber grind. It means that the grind doesn't start from top of a blade, from a spine. It just starts somewhere in the middle, or maybe less than in the middle, and then goes towards the edge. They use the hollow grind, so it's like hollow grind in here, and then it comes to a decently thin edge. But what it is, every time I look at a knife like this, what it tells me, it means it's a cheap manufacturing process, because making this grind is cheaper than making the full flat grind. Making just 3 rivets for the handle, for the plastic handle, is definitely cheaper comparing to making a fully forged knife like this, and so on. And doesn't even matter if you make a fancy name for this plastic. It doesn't matter if you make ergonomic type of handle. It is a cheap construction for the knives, and I'll give you a couple more examples. So this is a cheap construction for the knife. It's a super cheap knife, again pretty badly done, but it is made exactly like this. Some kind of handle, and then a little bit of a grind here. Knives like this, those are inexpensive knives. It's just a plain metal. This one is probably stamped or has a full grind kind of thing. 3 rivets, plastic handle. Those are inexpensive knives. They should not cost as much as Katka is asking for those kind of knives. And again, I will compare to those in a moment and so on. So when it makes sense to have this type of grind, of course it makes sense for some sort of outdoor knife, hunting knife, survival knife, maybe a bushcraft knife. Some people prefer Scandi grind, but whatever. So here it makes the spine very strong. You see, this is the saber grind. It makes relatively good edge for the knife, but again, the overall spine is thicker. It is strong, so you can maybe hammer on top of this knife and split wood with this, work through the bones. And you have this type of scales here with the pins, counter them ergonomically. For hunting knife, it makes sense to have this construction. For kitchen knife, it doesn't make sense to have this kind of grind and so on. So let's set this aside. And what I don't like about this knife is because of that construction, it doesn't really work very well as the kitchen knife. First of all, the balance. It is very like a blade heavy knife, because you have a lot of material here, which just moves the overall point of balance towards the blade. Even with this long handle, it is a little bit beyond this point, so it's somewhere around the loga area. I don't like it. Second thing is that it does not work as advertised. As soon as you start cutting with this knife something which is wider than this area, Here, some sort of food release happens, but here you're getting a different effect. Your knife, if for example I was chopping like cabbage, large, good, heavy cabbage, the knife goes away like to the side. Why? Because this area starts to move it like a chisel. It doesn't happen when you use like a knife with a full flat grind. Your edge is thin, it just cuts, and then this side guides you. And this side, if it's a full flat grind, guides you exactly down, like vertical, down on with the straight angle towards your cutting board. Here, your angle which guides you is not like this. It's like this. This is the angle which guides you. And then, of course, because it's pretty big, it moves your knife to the side. So not convenient to work. And of course, heavy blade, you have to spend more force to control more. Kind of spend more energy to control heavy blade comparing like how you control lighter blade like this. And the handle, I don't get this handle, this ergonomic profile. If you hold the knife like this, yes, it is an ergonomic handle, because then your finger goes here to the thinner part, this thicker part feels in your hand, your pinky goes to another thinner part. Yes, this is a good control over the handle, but it's a hammer grip. It's not good grip for a kitchen knife. When I try to do the proper pinch grip here, first of all, those angles, they don't help. They kind of well, compare. Okay. You have a tapering of the handle here. You have a tapering of a bolster here. You're very comfortable to use the pinch grip on those kind of knives. Here, no, you have to be beyond that step. Not very comfortable. And then also, look at my fingers. They go, and my pinky goes towards the thickest part of the handle. It's not comfortable, because pinky is what controls the knife actually, with the maximum distance from the grip. I need this pinky to be like here, not here. So not very comfortable to control the knife with this grip. So I don't get it. I don't get this handle. Totally doesn't work that. So those are my specific cons about this knife. The way it's constructed, it just doesn't work. It's blade heavy, the handle is not comfortable. It's not the proper kitchen knife, to be honest. And of course, on top of that, you can look up another reviews about the Katka overall marketing and sales and whatever advertisement for the knives. It doesn't work that. The steel itself, whatever they use, 410, 420, it's okay steel. It's nothing special about it. So let's compare. So let's say this knife costs what, over $150, right? This knife cost less than $100, $70. Totally useless paring knife. Why do you need a long handle like this for the paring knife? I usually this is the way I work with the paring knife. This one just doesn't make sense to me at all. Yeah, I've sharpened it. It's crazy sharp right now, but I don't get it. I don't like it. So okay, so let's say you want, let's go against Katka advertisings. Knife made in USA, relatively good steel, simple construction. What are my options? I don't have it here, but for example, I know there are Buck knives. Buck has kitchen knives. They have chef knife, which would cost you around $70. Will be made out of similar steel, but most likely with a better heat treatment, because Buck makes a very good heat treatment for their relatively okay steels. Will be made in USA. Will have a similar handle. Will have a similar style of grind, which I do not recommend it, but if you're trying to find something similar, more than 2 times cheaper. I think it's more than 2 times cheaper than a Katka. You're getting exactly the same knife by the attributes, but probably even better. So this is option number 1. Why not to buy Katka knife? Option number 2, you want American-made knife, similar construction. Here, of course, it is wooden handle, but it looks nicer. It has a tapering, very convenient for the pinch grip. It is made in USA, in Dover, Ohio. It's Warfare Cutlery. It costs $100-something less than Katka, but it is made out of a very, very good steel. S45VN, powder steel. It's a super steel. It's a real super steel, also made in USA. This knife, cheaper and better. Is it the perfect knife in general? No. I had some issues with this, but it is another made in USA knife, which is way, way better just from a steel point of view and execution point of view. Full flat grind, but it's not a flat grind. It's a little bit of a convex grind. Very good slicer, very good cutting knife. Compare. This one's better. Okay. If you don't care about made in USA, maybe you would want the knife made in Japan. Fully forged, a little bit better steel. I think it's $80 now. Same size, lighter, more controllable, better cutting, better performance from this knife. Highly recommended. What? Twice cheaper than this one. You want something similarly constructed from plain metal. Look at this, same principle, but the handle here, no pins, very good fit, better materials, same Santoku thing, X40 or whatever, X50 steel from Germany, less than $50, almost like 3 times cheaper than this. Missing, very good steel, a very thin knife, very big Santoku, and you can get a chef knife as well, lighter than this one, feels lighter. This one feels heavy. This one feels lighter, although they weight approximately the same. Maybe this one actually weighs a little bit more because it's a bigger blade. But way, way better steel. Fully forged construction. Whatever plastic is here. Super thin, nice blade. Cuts everything like crazy. Twice less expensive than this one. But this one would be, of course, China. Made in China, but okay, who cares? It's a good knife. So, let's wrap it up. I do not like Katka knives. I do not recommend buying those ones. They kind of okay, but for the price, no. If you're getting them like used, or I got it to sharpen, to try. Very strange feeling why this company still makes the same thing over and over again. They should change. They should change the steel. They should change handle materials. They should offer a different type of construction. They just survive through the aggressive marketing and sales. And we know in this world where everything is available, it's going to be more and more difficult for them down the road. Okay, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I'm going to Portugal. We'll film my travel there and knife shopping over there as well. Bye.